Good morning, everybody. I'm Melissa Nielsen with Waldorf Essentials, and I would be lying if I didn't say today makes me a little bit nervous. Um, Today is our announcement for a new project that we have in the works called Pebbles for Peace. And the reason why I'm a little bit nervous is because this is a big deal. It's a big project, and I want to do it right. And so I want to make sure that that I'm in the right place for it, and I feel like I am. So I just want you to know that a lot of care and thought has been taken into this announcement and into this project that we have ahead of us. So a little bit of background. A few months ago, it was brought to my attention, and I try to, I try to listen when the community asks questions, and often they're questions that didn't occur to me in the maybe the magnitude that their questions are asked, and so it took some time to really think about it. So the questions were, why don't we see more diversity within the Waldorf curriculum? Why don't we see more LGBTQ, Indigenous people, people of color, voices within the Waldorf curriculum? And, honestly, obviously, I'm of European descent. I'm Italian. My family is second, third generation here in this country. My husband's family is from Norway. Obviously, we are European people. And obviously, we have a different set of cultures that we bring to our family. But we also are really good at when we're, especially through the curriculum, and that's one reason why I love the curriculum so much. I've always been really good at taking the next step. I want to know how these people live. I want to know how these people live. I really want to understand these people, and taking steps that are deeper than what we usually see as recommended books within the Waldorf curriculum. So I was really trying to listen to a lot of the worries, complaints, frustrations from the families that I work with, and some that I don't work with that have been very vocal. And so I worked with some people here locally and talked to a lot of moms here locally, moms that have partners of Indigenous cultures that are not American, moms that are not from here, that are immigrants from here. I talked to a lot of people online, a lot of women of color, and I just really was trying to make a practice to just listen. Tell me what it is that you feel like we can do to make this better. It's definitely most of the books that are written for the Waldorf curriculum were written by white guys. Definitely. Absolutely. And so I think that is completely natural for us to want to have other voices. And so with that, I want to provide a platform. I want to do something that would be helpful and something that would be useful. And so we have this project called Pebbles for Peace that has a couple of different parts to it. So part one is one that I'm super excited about, and I hope you'll be excited too. It's something that when I was thinking about it, I was praying about it, I was thinking, what can I do? I'm hearing all of these. We have stories that need to be told, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what can I do about that? Well, we decided that one thing that would be amazing is if we could have a book resource that had something from all of these different cultures, at least many of them, so that the moms out there and the families out there feel like they have a voice. And so my invitation to you, and we have a website set up for this, for collection of information and everything, and we'll make sure we put that in the comments. I'll tell you now, the website, it's waldorfessentials.com/pebbles-peace/. So you can go there now, and you can see what we've got written up, and it's got all the details. And if you have questions, you can feel free to drop me a message and ask me. But I'm just going to explain some of the pieces that we thought we would put together. First of all, Eric and I will only be producers in this. We will not be, the Waldorf Essentials name will not be on this product. Our names will be producer names, but it will not say Waldorf Essentials. It'll just say Melissa and Eric Nielsen, because we want this book to belong to you. And with that, we want stories. We want you to feel like you have a voice. And these stories aren't going to belong to us. They're still going to belong to you. So we'll have a release that just allows us to use the story in this book. And then once the book is all compiled, and all of the co-authors, you guys will be the authors. So we're looking for authors that are women of color, people of color. We don't have to be women, but man, the women would be amazing. Indigenous people. We were looking for people from the LGBTQ community as well. So we're looking for people that feel like they need a voice, that want to write stories that would go with the curriculum. So that's a huge task. And that means they need to be, age-appropriate stories. They need to be stories that would go along with the recommendations of Steiner. So we want to make this a Waldorf book. And that means that each one of the grades will have a different focus, and you can read more information about that on the website that we laid out. But it also means that we'll be in a spot where we can give you a voice, and I'm super excited about that. That means that all of the names, as far as the authors go, will be the voices that are in there. And then when it's ready to go to print, first of all, you'll get you can disseminate this through all the digital means that you want. It'll be yours. And then when it goes to print, you'll have the opportunity to buy as many copies as you want for distribution or sale on your own site and your own venue for, and in fact, we won't even be selling it on our site at all, because I just didn't feel like that was right. I felt like it was a good idea to have Waldorf booksellers sell them. So we're going to be making sure that that the Bob and Nancy's place knows about it. We're going to make sure that Pamela at Meadowsweet Naturals knows about it. We're going to make sure that all of these Waldorf places where Waldorf moms shop have it. We'll also make sure it's on Amazon, and it'll be available for book distribution in local bookstores. So we want to make sure that we give this a huge voice. And we want to make sure that the people that profit from it, or the people that put the effort and energy into it as authors. And so we'll be splitting those profits with, not with us, with just the authors. And so, and the authors, again, will be able to purchase books at our publisher's cost. So then they can sell them on their sites if they want. They can, just distribute them to friends. It's super exciting when you're a first-time author. It's super exciting to have copies of your book that you can give to people. And so we wanted to sort of have this situation where it is a Waldorf book, and so it's, for all intents and purposes, it is an amazing Waldorf book that any parent could pick up, that any Waldorf parent could say, I want this in my library. And that way we can get these stories collected and get them in one place. And I was thinking last night, I thought, this might end up being more than one volume. And if it is, then that'll be wonderful. We're going to start with the first volume, and our deadline for submission is February 1st, and we'll extend that if needs be. But right now, we're going to, just get started with that deadline, with the hope that we can then have something in production by March 1st. And so with that, we are also looking for editors, because it wouldn't be right if we edited it, just because we're white, and we definitely want editors that are people of color. People from the LGBT community. We want people that would feel comfortable editing this. And I would worry too much that I wouldn't be doing the justice, that I would be looking at it with the wrong lenses. And so I would like editors from the community that would be willing to step forward and help us with this project. So if you are one of those people, maybe you can't write a story, you don't feel like you have a story to tell, but you would definitely want to help with the project, and you're an Indigenous person or person of color or part of the LGBTQ community. It's a lot of letters, a lot of letters to get out all at once. Then please send us a message so that we can sort of put you on that list. So once we have our group of authors together, and once we have all of our submissions, we'll start to have monthly meetings and just sort of see where everybody is. and just sort of help you along with that writing process. So that is part one, and that is like I said, one of the things I'm most excited about. That was one thing that we heard over and over again. We need a voice, and so here we want to give you a space to have a voice. We want to use the fact that, that we are well known within the community and that people listen to us. We want to use that in order to help people see this book then and see this product and get that out there to others so that others can see these stories and hear these stories. I have a friend here locally, and her husband's from Kenya. And we were talking about, what things do you wish that there were for your kids? Her children are part white and part Kenyan, and so we were talking about that because that's very much their culture as much as her culture is. And she said, I wish there were more of his tribe's stories written down. And so she's combing the libraries and looking for information on his specific tribe because there's so many. And so she said, I've been looking for that, but I wish there were more of his stories from his people written down. And so, this again is an opportunity to write those stories down, so that your posterity has them, so that you've got them for generations to come. There are so many amazing stories that are not put in writing, and we really want to make sure that we can get those out there so that we can share them, so that we can show the truthfulness and the sensitivity that we need to show to all of the cultures when we're studying these cultures throughout the Waldorf curriculum. So, again, that's part one. Part two of this project, I think, is equally important because there are already some amazing books out there. Amazing books that aren't on book lists, that aren't on Waldorf book lists. I know they're not on mine. We have some books that we recommend over and over again that we, feel like are amazing books that were written by not white people. And so we wanted to put some other situations out there so that we could have more of these lists. So the second part two, and it's also available on that link. And thank you, Kelly, my assistant, for posting that. Is that you can submit books that that you've used that maybe are written by an amazing person of color, or maybe are written by an amazing woman, or different groups, minority groups that don't have a voice. And so let's get those stories out there. The same friend, she was telling me about a group of folk tales that Nelson Mandela wrote. Had no idea. And so we're lucky here in San Diego. We have the Malcolm X Library, which is just the name of one of the libraries in our library system. But that library specifically has a great deal of collections from African American and people of color authors. And so it's a great resource, but I know that's not everywhere. And so we would like to be able to have a great list going so that you can, if you're looking for more stories for grade 5, that you can jump over there. Now, I will say there is an amazing new book by Betty Staley on Africa, that it was written for the Waldorf curriculum. It's a great book, but I want to see more. I want to see more resources out there. I want to see more resources written by Indigenous cultures and Indigenous people. I want to see more availability and things so that we can really and truly understand it. My son just came home from a mission. We sort of had talked about, what things did the curriculum do to prepare you? And one of the things that he said, Mom, I liked that I knew about so many different people. That I could easily stop what I was doing and listen to somebody's story, and they might be from one of these places that I studied, and I liked that I could listen and have some intelligence about these people. It made my enjoyment of meeting people that were not from this country so much more. And so I really took that to heart, and I was really thinking, I want to do this more because, in the Nielsen house, I've always been searching out those books. I'm always seeking out things that are written by people that actually experienced it. But I know that's not everybody's reality. So we want to create a list so that you can easily like open the list and go, okay, that's what I need for grade 3, or this is what I need for grade 4, so that you have a really good functional list. And then we're going to make that list available to anybody and everybody. My hope is that as the list grows, we'll be able to send it to all of you that are Waldorf bloggers, that you can help get that list out there, that we can also submit it to these bookshops that will then be, hopefully carrying some of these books, that we can submit it to places that that will then help them understand and help others understand, hey, there's more out there than the books that we have. Now, I will say we have some amazing books. But they're definitely written from a Eurocentric point of view, and it's time that we add some flavor to that. And so with that, I hope you will join me with this project, Pebbles for Peace. And if you have questions, please drop me a note. I'm always happy to help, happy to to point you in the right direction, and happy to reflect with you. So if you've got questions, comments, please leave them here, or drop them in my message box, and help us with this project, because I think this is going to be an amazing project, and I'm very excited to see all of the pieces come together, and very excited to really be just working with this idea. So please share this video, and please share the website. We would like to see it shared all over so that we can get the word out for this. We'd really like the families that really feel like they need a voice to be able to see this video, and then drop us a note as well. So there you have it. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and like I said, I'm really excited about this. So help us out, and let's get this shared, and let's get started on this project, Pebbles for Peace. Thank you.